All right. So hello and welcome to the inaugural Women in Product Toastmasters Club meeting. We're so excited to have you all join us in what we hope will be a powerful way to connect and grow our skills together. My name is Svetlana and I'm your Sergeant at Arms. And I'll be taking you through a few quick Zoom tips for anyone joining via Zoom for the first time. Whoops. So you can use your headset, earbuds, or computer audio, but please mute your mic when you're not speaking. You'll notice you're automatically muted on entering the meeting, but you can unmute yourself when you do speak by toggling the mic icon in the lower left-hand corner and toggling off when you're not speaking. You can also toggle your video on and off, but we certainly hope you leave it on so we can see your face. You can adjust the view from your end in the upper right-hand corner. Of course, when I did this, I didn't have there was no one else in the meeting, but you will see that you can adjust to a gallery view to see more of our faces or to the active speaker view to just see the speaker. Feel free to also use the chat feature right on the bottom in the middle to share notes for speakers or to ask questions, which you can do to everyone or to specific individuals by selecting their names in the drop-down when you open the chat box. But please do this in between speeches. Finally, this meeting is being recorded as it is our policy that by participating in the meeting, you agree that a recording will be available publicly on our YouTube channel and our website. And at this time, I'd like you to meet today's Toastmaster, Erica Tamburo. So I'm going to stop sharing and over to you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shubarna.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome today to our very first meeting. The mission of the Women in Product Toastmasters Club is to provide an opportunity for women to develop product management skills, build and practice communication techniques, and gain leadership experience in a safe, supportive, and collegial forum. I'm very happy that you're all joining us and want to grow along with us. I will take us through the agenda for today and introduce you to how a Toastmasters meeting is run. And give everybody that's volunteered an opportunity to talk a little bit about what their function is today. If you have more questions about that afterwards, I'd be happy to answer them for you. First, we do have a couple of guests here today, I believe. And I wanted to invite them to quickly just give a quick introduction of who you are, maybe your product role, what company you're in, where you're from, and what your superpower is. Nav, do we have a list?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hi, my name is Nav. I have been in product management. By the way, before that, thank you all for joining. We really appreciate you. I'm VP of memberships. So if you guys have any issues, with your payments or if you want to bring your friends over, please feel free to reach out to me. So back to my little intro here. I've been in product for over 10 years, and I've been a senior PM for, I believe, about 6. Currently, I'm in between roles. I started at a new company. It's called GLL from next week. So that's going to be interesting. I was doing consulting for the past 2 years. As an independent consultant, and I decided to go back full time. My superpower is, I guess it's a little bit hard for me to describe my superpower, but I would say it's to bring the goal of the company and business outcomes along with the resources of the team. It's to collate all of those together and make features, build features which customers use. So I guess collaboration would probably be being very collaborative would be something that stands out for me. Yeah. Did you guys have any questions?
Thank you, Nav. Do we have anybody that is not part of the club? I know this is a little confusing because this is our very first meeting. This section is meant as an opportunity for anybody that hasn't been part of the club, which I guess we could all talk right now. Do we have any guests in the crowd that are not club members right now? Okay, I will go on. Okay, so today, thank you, Svetlana, for calling us to order. Today, Lori will be giving her icebreaker speech, and everybody will learn what an icebreaker speech is soon. Nav is also giving her icebreaker speech. We have Misha will be our table topics person of the day. Misha, would you like to talk a little bit about table topics?
I was hoping that like the leads here would basically give like an introduction to what table topics is. I know a little bit, but
Sure,
yeah.
sure. Let's see. So table topics are an opportunity for people to practice their on the spot speaking skills. So these aren't prepared speeches. These are the table topics master comes up with a theme and a topic, and then we'll pick somebody from the crowd that isn't already part of a volunteer for the meeting that day. So yeah. Be prepared. Anybody could be selected today. Then we have our general evaluator, who is Rita. Rita is a self-proclaimed toastaholic, and we're very excited to have Rita here. Rita is a club mentor, will be our club mentor. She'll be joining us for the year. She is a two-time district Toastmaster, working on number 3. She's a proven and still a district leader with a past district governor position as well. So welcome, Rita.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here today. As general evaluator, I'm going to look at the overall feel of the meeting, see how everything is going, mention some ideas for how to make it even better, share with you the things that you've done that are exemplary, things like that. And I say I'm also going to be a speech evaluator. I will essentially be doing the same thing for the benefit of our first prepared speaker, who will be Lori. And now I'm going to just turn it right back over. Here we go, Erica.
Thank you, Rita. Solazar is also joining us as an evaluator. You all know him from our kickoff meeting. He's a District 101 Extension Chair. It's lovely to work with to get everything set up. And as I learn more about him, what a wonderful mentor he's been to others at Toastmasters. The grammarian of the day today is Swathi. Swathi, would you like to talk a little bit about your grammarian role?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Toastmasters, guests, and everyone who's here for a common cause. I would be playing the role of the grammarian for today. So basically, the role of a grammarian is to look at all the good usage of English grammar which happens during the meeting and like point out some of the ways of improvement in how we speak and looking at like listening to what like I would be listening to you guys constantly and would be making some notes around what was the good things you talked about, like what were the good English structures and some areas of improvement. I've also identified the word of the day. So Erica, do you have that on a slide or? Okay. So today's the word of the day is meticulous, which means showing great attention to detail, being very careful and precise. So I highly encourage you all to use this word during the meeting. I'll be keeping track of who's been using the word of the day. Some of the example sentences are like, as you can see on the slide, a product manager has to write the product requirements meticulously so that it is clear to the engineering team as well as the leadership team. So this is one usage of the word. The other usage is like, she is meticulous in everything she undertakes. The trip involved meticulous planning. So I encourage you all to use this word during the meeting whenever you get a chance to speak. And at the end of the meeting, I would share my report with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Today, our awe counter will be Liz. Liz, would you like to give a little bit of information about your role?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Liz. So today as the awe counter for the prepared speeches and then also for the table topic speakers, I'll be counting how many filler words people use. So that's things like so, or, and then at the end of the meeting today, I'll be reporting back how we did, because these are words we want to try to avoid using during our speeches to have really clear and succinct communication.
Thank you so much, Liz. My husband's interested to see how many ahs and ums I'll get today.
Nice.
And we had a last minute change. Our timer today will be Ansu. Ansu, would you like to talk a little bit about your role?
Thank you, Erica. Fellow Toastmasters, friends and guests, today I will be the timer for our session, and my role is to remind all speakers how much time they've spent on their speech so that we will be running this meeting on time. How I'll be showing the timing signals would be, we have two types of speeches today. We have the icebreaker speeches, which is supposed to be 4 to 6 minutes. So when we hit 4 minutes, I will change my background to green, indicating you have hit the 4-minute marker. At 5 minutes, I will change it to yellow. And at 6th minute, I will change it to red, and it'll remain red until the end of your speech. For the table topic session, the rules are 1 to 2 minutes per speaker. So I will turn my background green at 1 minute. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will turn my background yellow. And at 2 minutes, I'll turn my background to red, and it'll remain red until the end of your speech. It is suggested that during the table topic session, you try to hit that 1 minute. That'll be a good goal for you. And the second goal is, like, as you see the red filter, red background, you would want to start wrapping up your speech. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ansu. One more reminder about the word of the day. And I will hand it off to Lori, whose icebreaker is titled Heart of a Champion. Lori is a product manager at Inside Track and is our VP of PR. And I will hand it off to Lori.
Cool. Thanks, Erica. Do you mind? There we go. All right. Well, thank you, Erica, and everyone that's joining us today. Welcome to our first official club meeting. This is a very special day, especially for product women like ourselves. Today is the day that we launch our viable solution for improving our leadership, speaking, and presentation skills with the Women in Product Toastmasters. So every year, there are more than 30,000 new products introduced into the world, and 95% of them fail. It's my goal to reduce that risk and make products successful in the marketplace. I'm Lori and I'm a product manager. Today, I'm going to share a little bit about myself and my product background with you all. I'm native to the Pacific Northwest and I'm currently located in Vancouver, Washington, which is just north of Portland, Oregon. This is where I grew up and I established a passion for the outdoors and sports. My sport of choice is bowling. My love for bowling led me to college on a scholarship, actually. I'm a first-generation graduate and a two-time national champion. My passion for leadership and complex problem solving led me to start my career in finance. After a few years in finance, I began working with engineers to automate all the reports I was building. As the problems got harder to solve and the impact I was making was larger, my passion started soaring to new heights and ultimately led me into product management. I transitioned into a product role at the same company, which helped me build the foundational skills I needed and gain some beginning experience. As my product skills developed, so did my curiosity for building products that people loved. Today, I'm 6 years into my product journey, and I currently work in the higher education space, as Erica mentioned, at Inside Track. At Inside Track, I currently manage a line of both mobile and web products, as well as free and paid versions of those products. We play in both the B2B and the B2C space, including the largest college forums in the United States. These products help reduce the barriers into higher education and provide resources to help learners make informed education decisions and get the information they need to start college as soon as they want to, or find alternatives to higher education that might not fit the traditional four-year plan. We are currently a remote team of 6 product managers, and we're spread all across the world. So we're currently located in 4 different countries. So I've been a remote employee for the last 3 years. So post-COVID, it's made my role a little bit easier because I was already in this remote world that we're all living in now. Our roles require us to deal with both internal and external stakeholders at all levels of management. Therefore, my presentation and communication skills are critical, especially for many of my stakeholders whose first language might not be English. So in pursuit of my own education and upskilling, I found Toastmasters. I'm new to Toastmasters, so this is also my first official club meeting. Thanks to our Women in Product group, a simple question I asked led to this opportunity for all of us. I am one of the founding members of this Women in Product Toastmasters Club, and I joined to improve my communication skills and those stakeholder presentations that we all give often. I'm excited to watch this club prosper and make an impact on all of our product journeys. So since we all share this love for products, I'm going to tell you a little bit about a product that captured my heart, my Instapot. Yep, I'm one of those crazy ladies who's obsessed with this thing. And I'm always sharing my latest creation in that Facebook group where there's like 10,000 posts a day. Yep, that's me. This magical pressure cooker has saved my day more times than I can even count. Usually on those product release days when things are just going crazy and you just need to get dinner solved and you don't want to worry about anything. Its reliability, versatility, and consistency is why it's stolen my heart, unlike any product before. So I've done all kinds of things with this, from cooking my favorite rice, to making marinara sauce from the tomatoes in my garden, to fall off the bone baby back ribs, and even sanitizing toys. So online, they've built this incredible community of people, just like me, who are always willing to share tips and tricks, stress-free recipes, and even their latest failures. What I enjoy most about the community is that they've created a culture of inclusivity, honesty, trust, and fun. People love this product so much, they even dress up for it for Halloween. As a product manager, I can only aspire to build a product that someone loves that much. So if you ever want to talk Instapot or bowling, just shoot me a message. I'd love to chat. And there you have it. I hope you all learned a little bit about me, and I look forward to getting to know all of you more through our icebreaker speeches and us growing as product leaders.
Thank you so much, Lori. I was going to give you some gobbles, but I think that your icebreaker was a strike. And I really look forward to launching this product with you and everybody else here. All right, next up we have Nav. Nav, take it
Okay,
away.
let me quickly share my screen here. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Can you guys hear me? Yes? Okay. Hey, first of all, I just wanted to acknowledge we have a first female vice president. And this is a Women in Product Toastmasters group. And I'm just so excited that this is our first meeting right after that great development. It just, I feel like it's broken the glass ceiling for women all over the world. So I'm super excited about that. In terms of my product journey, I started my career, well, a little bit about my background. I grew up, I spent the first decade and a half of my life in India, and then I moved to the US when I was in middle school, and I've been here longer than I have been back there. And I pursued my my product journey initially as a builder. I'm a builder at heart. I love building things. I've built. We built our own home a few years ago. I've renovated a few of my homes. I just love building things, and I've done that professionally as well. And that journey in the initial years, I worked as an engineer in B2B, B2C, and web. And that journey took me to a business analyst role at one of my companies, where my manager asked, hey, like, we have a lot of defects. You, as part of your process, already write a lot of documentation. Can you please help us? Because we have a lot of our enterprise customers are threatening to leave. And so at Famous, that's where I became a BA, and then I became a product manager. And subsequent to that, I've worked at Cisco, GE, Expedia, and Albertsons. And I believe, like, one of the common threads everywhere I've been at is the teams have been always very nimble and scrappy. So even though they've been big companies or small companies, I've always worked in very startup type environments, and I've always been having to figure things out on the spot. In terms of my product learnings, I feel that as a product manager, the biggest thing I've learned in my journey is to coalesce everyone, all the teams together. That's like the most important thing you can do. And just getting along with people is very critical to being successful in this role. So Laura, my favorite product, I was going to talk about Instant Pot, Lori. But since you spoke about that, I'll do something I equally love. So because we've been working from home, and we've been, like, having this cabin fever at times, I feel like I've been listening to a lot of music. So I love Spotify anyways, but I love the reason I really, a lot of people connect with Spotify, and their numbers show that too, is because of the ease of use of the product, how easily you can discover and search for music by genre. You can save things. I love the fact that they also have maintain lists of, like, your top, like, at the end of the year, they publish, this is the song you listened to the most this year. And you're easily able to share playlists. They just make your user journey very easy. It's an easy to use product, and they make it really fun and interactive. So that's why I really like Spotify as a product. Okay. That's it. Did anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Nav. I second the Spotify selection.
Yeah.
And good job doing a quick pivot from Instapot. I think that's hilarious. Who doesn't love a good Instapot, right?
Right.
And I'm equally excited. You are a builder, and as part of the leadership team, you'll
Thank
get
you.
to do more building.
Thank
Thank you. Okay, so our next thing is going to be table topics, and Misha is going to lead us with table topics. So
Sure.
Misha, take it away.
Yes, sure. Thank you. I will quickly introduce myself. I'll take this as an opportunity to say hi to everyone. Hello, folks. This is my first Toastmasters meeting ever, so I'm very excited to be part of this. I live in the Bay Area, and I graduated from UC Berkeley like a decade ago with electrical engineering and computer science degree. So I'm an engineer at heart. And then I joined Intel. I was a design engineer for a few years, moved into product management, led a Chrome business for the company for 4 good years, and then moved to Facebook as a TPM. TPM, if you guys are not aware of the position, it's technical program manager or technical product manager. Within every company, every team, that's just defined differently. So I've been with Facebook for 2 years, and I'm super excited to be part of this lovely group here and learn a lot of these skills that are necessary for all of us to be able to communicate effectively and learn from each other. So today for the table topics, while we are talking about your favorite product, I would just like to take it one level deep, and I would pick 3 people one by one. And as it was mentioned earlier in the introduction, we will give 1 to 2 minutes to each person. And the topic is, you can talk about your favorite product, or you can talk about your favorite feature in the product. You can look into what's the value prop, what are some good things, bad things, just some things to ponder on, and share just generally what do you like about that feature, if you can get deeper into that. So for the first person that I would pick is Jennifer Ginsburg.
Thanks, Misha. All right, well, I'll just do a quick introduction about myself. Can you hear me? All right, my name is Jennifer Ginsburg. I am based out of Colorado, Denver, Colorado. As far as my favorite product or product feature, I'll admit right now during COVID times, I am a heavy Amazon shopper. Everything for me right now is online. I am finding myself when I have downtime or even while I'm watching TV and multitasking, I'm constantly on Amazon, just kind of searching around, kind of poking around. So I would say right now, given where we are today, my favorite application or product is Amazon related services. I think more recently, one of the things that I appreciate the most in terms of new product feature functionality is they have created the ability to bundle up all of your orders so that you're not getting a package a day or maybe sometimes 5 packages a day. You can bundle them all up together, and it makes me feel like, hey, I'm helping the environment in some form or fashion. I'm helping to reduce the load on truck drivers having to do individual packages based on my current shopping lifestyle. So that's it for me.
That's
back to you, Misha.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I do, yes, I do also appreciate it, how we can bundle it. And while we are all in meetings, we don't have to hear the ring bell, bell at the door like 5 times a day. It's good to just have it like once and then call it that. So thank you for sharing. Next, I would like to talk to Amy. There was no last name with the... Yeah. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Kirkland.
Your voice is a little slow.
Low. Your volume is a little low.
I don't know how to fix that.
You might try to either increase your volume or maybe speak closer to the microphone.
Is that better?
Only slightly.
Okay, I guess I'll
Yep,
try this.
there you
Is
go.
this
Just
better?
speak it closer into the microphone. Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Hi, my name's Amy Kirkland. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I work for a company called Incom. I actually used to work with Lori Edwards. My favorite product right now is probably Stitch Fix. I have started using Stitch Fix probably about a year ago before pandemic happened, and started getting lots of new clothes, which was really exciting because I hate to shop. And then it's been really great with the pandemic because then I don't have to go out and shop either. So it's been great because they just send me, 5 different items every month, and then I can choose to keep them or send them back, and I can rate them, and then they kind of learn my style. And so uh, basically, every time I've gotten boxes of Stitch Fix, I usually have really great items that I really like, and they're usually something new that I might not have gotten for myself, but fits my style well, and I rarely have to send anything back. So it's been a really cool, great service for me, and I've really enjoyed it. And I think that's it.
Thank you, Amy. Just to make sure that we are using the word of the day. Yeah, I do agree that Stitch Fix definitely meticulously plans for they cater towards the style, and they plan it for the like whatever occasion that you're trying to use the clothes for. All right. The next one I would like to pick Deepti.
Hey everybody, I'm Deepti. Just a quick introduction. I work at Microsoft Research, and I've been prior to that I was at Intel Labs, which is again another research environment. But I've been a product manager for the last 5 years. Prior to that, I was an engineer. In terms of what my favorite product is, I think it has to be Figma. If for those of you who don't know what Figma is a design tool. The built for designers to to help them. Okay, so here was what was the problem with the design function prior to Figma, right? All the tools, Adobe tools, any of the tools that were out there in the market, they were primarily designed for designers. But designers actually, they're like a service function, right? They have to work with the product managers, they have to work with the developers. So collaboration is one big piece of design as a function itself that wasn't addressed in any of the prior tools. And Figma came along, and it didn't necessarily have any better design abilities, right? It couldn't make, but what it had was this incredible collaboration built as a first class citizen into the product itself. And what that enabled the designers to do is be effective collaborators in a team that they work with, right? So me as a product manager, I'm able to work significantly closer with my design team, make them my real partners in being able to define a product and actually deliver things ahead of schedule, leave comments, collaborate better. So I really like what Figma has done for the collaboration across disciplines.
Thank you, Deepti. This was a very different product. I don't know if everyone has used it or not, but I do agree it's a great product, and people should just go and check it out as well. That'll just help with the collaboration with the UI UX folks. Back to you, Erica.
Thank you so much, Misha. Those were some really great products that everybody shared. I am all on board with Amazon and Stitch Fix, and I'm very excited to look more and learn more about Figma. All right, so that wraps up our speeches for the day, and now we will transition into our evaluation portion of the meeting. And I will hand it over to Rita, who is our general evaluator. So take it away, Rita.
Here I am. Thank you very much, Erica. All right, we're going to look at the evaluation side of things on what we did today and find out the things that we did that knocked us off our feet and things that we can do that will knock us off our feet even more in the future. We'll start off with our speech evaluators. I'm going to be your speech evaluator for Lori's speech. So I'm going to switch my hat right now. And here I am as your speech evaluator. Lori, where are you? There you are. Lori, what a great speech. You really, it was perfect that the word of the day is meticulous, because I thought you had a lot of meticulous pieces to share with us that gave us insight as to who you are. You were warm, you were inviting, you were somebody who, just by the nature of who you are, drew us in. And I love that, because that's something that I think can be a little bit difficult to learn. And you already have that as a natural ability. So good for you on that. You gave us great insight into as to what it was that you do, which was very helpful too. And you also talked a little bit about where you are on your personal life, that you are in Washington, one of my favorite states on the whole planet, and that you've been there for such a long time. So it was very good. For an evaluator speech, by the way, it's 2 to 3 minutes. So 2 would be green, 2:30 would be yellow, and 3 would be red. Now, going back to what we're sharing here, you have a sense of humor that came out towards the end of your speech. Wow, that is absolutely great. And if I were you, I would use that more and more. Make that something that is your go-to, regardless, practically regardless of whatever the speech content itself is, because that also played really well. I think it's something that energizes your audience and draws them again back to what it is that you're saying, which is very good. This is something that's a more advanced thing to talk about changing down the road. But I really feel, given some of the things that I've seen with you today, that you could use it. Is your use of your hands is maybe just a little bit too much. All right. So when you're doing your speech, when you're walking yourself through your speech, my suggestion to you is consider your hands and how much you're using them. And at some point, just say to yourself, what's too much here? Let me just put that down, because what happens is if we do something physically that is a little bit more than we need to, it distracts from our message. And because of the way that you do lay out your message and how good it is, I don't think that that's something that you want to do. So give that some thought right there. Other than that, I just thought it was very good. I'd love to know at another time what your goals are for yourself in terms of what you want to learn and everything, because I foresee for you a path to get there sooner rather than later. So thank you very much, Lori. I really appreciate your speech.
Thank you.
Evaluating speaker number 2 is an incredible Toastmaster, but I'm not going to go there with that. I'm just going to tell you that he's here to be a wonderful evaluator. Everybody, please welcome Solazar. And you are on mute.
Yes, there we go. Okay, thank you, Rita, and most especially thank you, Nav. Now, what I love about icebreakers is that we get to see people, and we get to also see our differences in how we see ourselves, express ourselves, and everything else. And I just love that. Nav, I love how you introduced the election as an impact and brought it back to this club. That was showing kind of a presence of a current event and how it influenced you and how you felt that that was an influence for everything the club is doing. I love that part. I truly did. What I would have liked as a starting point, though, was a title for your speech, even if it was just the story of Nav or how I got here, or you can call me Nav, whatever you wanted to use. It doesn't have to be simple, but the title is always that little tidbit, that little taster, that little appetizer that gets us going. Now, earlier, when you spoke about yourself earlier in the meeting, when Erica had asked for guests to introduce themselves, you were very clear, very explicit, very precise. But after you spoke about Kamala Harris, you suddenly got a little uncertain, it seemed to me, and were a little slow in getting into the introduction of where you're from and where you're coming to. So I always recommend that people start out by always having an introduction to your speech that you know cold. Know it cold. Because as the nerves come on as we're speaking to people, especially starting out, if we know that part cold, it helps us get going and gets a little more regular. I also want to go back to the Instapot for 1 minute here. Doesn't matter whether Lori mentioned it or not. You could have talked about it all day long anyway, because it was your thing. But what I liked is you went from feeding our bodies to feeding our soul by going to Spotify. So you made that wonderful switch and still gave us a sense of who you are, products you like, and everything else. So I like the way you did that as well. When you were talking about your personal journey from India to the United States, we didn't need to see your slide. We actually didn't need to see your slide until you started talking about your career. And I would have liked you to reference your slide a little bit and say, here's where I was here and here's where I was here. And as you can see down here, these were the companies I've worked at. But the idea of using the slide and introducing it is actually a fairly advanced technique. It may be something you use in your career a lot. And you did introduce it. I just would have liked more of a reference to it. And it's always helpful to have some conclusion. What do you want me to really know about NAV when I walk away? What would you like me to know? You were so explicit in that little opening section before your speech. And then when it came to the speech, maybe the nerves got you, or you were uncertain where you wanted to go, but you weren't as explicit. I want to know what you want me to remember about you when I walk away. And that's your conclusion there. All in all, the big accomplishment for everybody is doing the icebreaker, getting that first one out of the thing. So you've succeeded in a very big way today just by doing that. And I thank you for all that you've shared. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. Those are great evaluation. Now, I don't have the agenda in front of me. Did we have an awe counter? Who is our awe counter?
Yes, that was me.
Would you please give us an awe counter report?
Sure. So I'm Liz Barnum, everyone. I was your awe counter today. So first, starting with Lori's speech. So Lori, a couple words that I noticed that you used a few times were primarily so and So for so, you used that 3 times, and for you used that 4 times. But overall was a pretty clear and precise speech. So moving on to Nav's speech. So Nav, the words you used that were kind of filler words were and then there were a tiny bit of ahs and likes. But I think your primary word you used as a filler word was and I think I tracked about 6 of those. And then I also do the awe counter for the table topics? I track that if that's helpful for us to run through that.
Absolutely.
Okay,
everybody.
perfect. So then for the table topics for Jennifer, I actually didn't track any filler words, so great job there. For Amy, for your favorite product on Stitch Fix, here I am saying as the odd counter myself. So for Amy, I tracked 3 and then Deepthi, when you discussed Figma, I tracked 2 uhs. And that was it for you. And those are all the filler words I tracked.
Thank you, Liz. Great report. I appreciate it. The wonderful thing about hearing how many ums and ahs is that next time around, maybe you'll use 1 or 2 less when you become aware of it. It changes things for you. Even if you were not one of the people being counted, you might say, I know I have a tendency to say, I need to cut that down a little bit too. Works out great. Word of the day. Can we get a report on who used the word of the day? And may I have...
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Swati. I was the grammarian for the day today. I'll start with the word of the day. The word of the day was meticulous, and a couple of people used the word meticulous during their speeches. Misha used it and Rita used it a couple of times. I would encourage you guys to use the word of the day as often as you can in So going to the detailed report of each speaker, do you want me to do that now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. So
And keep it to about a minute. So you might just want to do the highlights that you have.
Sure. Okay. So I got there were a lot of good usage which I want to go with you guys. Like for example, Nav said things like, "I am a builder at heart." Unlock the potential of human creativity. Uh, Deepthi mentioned collaboration was built as a first class citizen, which I really liked. Laurie's the title of her speech was Heart of a Champion. Like these were all good constructs which I saw. Uh, right now during the evaluation, Solazar mentioned feeding our bodies to feeding our souls, which was also a good segue. So these were some of the good usages I saw. I didn't really see any bad usages. I really enjoyed the meeting so far, so everything has been good.
Wonderful. Thank you. Very good report. And how about a timers report? Ansu?
Hi there, everybody. I have the timers report in front of me. So Laurie took 5 minutes and 11 seconds for her icebreaker speech. That is brilliant. Congratulations. Nav took 4 minutes and 7 seconds, again in the green zone. That is awesome. The table topic speakers, Jennifer took 1 minute and 12 seconds. Amy took 1 minute and 13 seconds. Deepti took 1 minute and 45 seconds, which officially qualifies all the speakers. The evaluation section, Rita was the evaluator for the first speaker. She took 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Solazar took 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I also timed the grammarian and the R counter. Liz took 1 minute and 7 seconds to give her report, and Swati took 1 minute and 34 seconds. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Great
General
report.
evaluator.
Thank you. It's a great report. All right. Let's look at all the entire meeting and talk about different things here and there. Everybody obviously you were prepared. You were ready to make this meeting happen. You were quick on the draw when somebody had to be replaced right away and took care of that before the meeting happened. That's most excellent. I noticed that we had an agenda, but we need to have an agenda for every meeting so that people can look at it. My suggestion to you, I don't know if this was how your agenda looked for you when you did your meeting with Solazar, is if you can also put on the other side of the agenda the roles that are in the meeting with a description of what those roles are so that people don't have to wonder about it as you have guests come in, as people are getting used to what's going on. You'll find that it's very helpful to do that. You used a slide for intros. Two things happened there when you use the slide. First off, I don't think people were really clear who was supposed to intro. All right. That's obviously there for guests, correct? So the thing that I would do if I were you is, number one, I would say, do we have any guests in the room? If so, I'd like you to introduce yourself. I'd like you not to use a slide for that because it feels like it's another wall that you're putting in. And I say another wall because we're doing a Zoom meeting as it is. It's just a touch off of what regular community is about. You're keeping it less so is by you speaking rather than using slides way too often. So go ahead and use basically your words and say, what guests do we have? Then ask them to, we'd like to know in under a minute, what are you doing here? What do you hope to accomplish? Give them that kind of information like that. All right. It'll also help you because at the end of your meeting, you want to come back to that. And let's check in with our guests to find out what they felt about the meeting and how it went for them. Let us see. Toastmaster, the way that the information was shared was absolutely great as the Toastmaster of the day. One way you can take it up a little bit more is if you can find out from your speakers, what can I share about you today, to share with everybody else, to give a little bit of an example or information on who that person is. The same would be true, by the way, for the general evaluator. I should have done that as well, just to be clear about that. And you want to talk about why what we're doing here is important, right? At different turns, just a light reminder, because the fact of the matter is that everything that we do, mistakes especially, help us become so much better outside of Toastmasters. It gives us a lot more confidence. It gives us a chance to consider who we are as speakers and where we're going as speakers as well as communicators. Let us see, a couple of other things here. Table topics. Ask a different table topics question, not the same question to different people. And the way you want to do that for table topic questions is you want to ask the question, then pick a person to respond to the question. It's important to do it in that order. The reason why is everybody's paying attention. She might pick me, all right? But the fact of the matter is that if you were to say, I have a question for Liz, and then you start sharing what that question is, well, now Liz is our only active listener. Everybody else is like, I'm off the hook. I don't have to worry about this. So be sure to ask the question first, then select the person. And as table topics master, do yourself a favor, check that agenda, select people who do not have roles. If for some reason everybody has roles, pick the people that have the more lightweight role, like timer as an example doesn't do a lot of speaking as an example. So go with that. If you have guests in the room, do ask your guests too. However, do not ask your guests first. Let your guests have an opportunity to see a couple of instances of how we do it. We Toastmasters do it. So that way they feel a little more secure about trying it, and do encourage them to try it. It's an awful lot of fun. It's their chance to basically test drive the car. Other than that, great you had, and oh, wow, yeah. No, you guys just did such a great job. It's a little bit hard to believe that it's your first meeting. You should feel very proud about that. You just did something where basically it's clear that you people have been paying a lot of attention and you've put a lot of care into this. And that says something about you guys, no matter what. So thank you so much for having me here to general evaluate. Now back to our Toastmaster, Erica.
Thank you so much, Rita. Thank you for all the constructive feedback. I'm very excited to implement some of this, and we are all beginners here. So thank you so much. I believe that we also have a winner. I'm unclear on who selects the winning speech for the day, if the whole club is supposed to vote or if the evaluators choose the speech.
So may I make a suggestion to you? As you're going through your icebreakers, my suggestion is maybe hold off from selecting better speaker of the two that you have, or if it's three, best speaker. Just because the icebreaker is a different kind of thing that you're doing, right? There's a lot more nervousness that goes on with it. I would, however, if I were you, vote on best table topic respondent. That's for sure. And as soon as your members jump in with doing the speech evaluators, which will be fairly soon, as soon as they start doing that, then we'll do speech evaluations. And once we're past the icebreakers, then we'll start doing better speaker too. Does that make good sense to you?
I think so too, yeah. Thank you.
So I guess, Erica, today we didn't take a vote. We can skip it for today. We can do that next week for the table topic session. Sure. So a suggestion in my club, when we do it online, we send the name privately to the table topics master, and that person evaluates or tallies the score and then announces the winner at the end.
You can also have a vote counter roll too, if you'd like to do that. But those are things actually we can take offline and go over.
Well, I have a little bit of club business to go through. So if we still want to do the vote on the table topics, everybody can send them to Misha and we could do it afterwards. Yeah, so let's do that. Okay.
I also wanted to add in, like in the other clubs where I've been a member of, we would give feedback to each speaker. Like everyone in the audience would take a minute to give the feedback, and the timer would time us for that 1 minute. So are we planning to do that in the near future?
So my suggestion to you, that could, it really depends on how long you want your meeting to go and how long people want to be there. All right. If people are looking more at, I want to do what we need to do, and I don't really want to do extras, one suggestion I have, which is typical in most clubs, is that the individual members do give feedback to the speakers, but they do it in writing. And they share that information in writing rather than say anything with it. How we've been doing it in my regular club, since we've gone to a Zoom personality, is we just basically are given a form, and we just write in the form, as an example, Lori, you did the following so great, et cetera, and send that information on to Lori individually. So you could do something along that lines. You could also email it to the person. The longer you take to do it, the less likely it is that you will do it, though.
Right.
So bear that in mind.
Yeah. So like, how about setting, like we can discuss and get a vote on that. Like we could set aside 1 to 2 minutes after a speech is done, where everyone can give the feedback in writing, or like they could through a chat message or whatever works best for us. That way, like it also ensures that everyone else is listening to the speaker, and like we are getting like more and more feedback on the speech content.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So everybody, if you want to send your votes to Misha for the table topics for today, and I will share my next slide. Before I go into club business, I really want to give a special thank you to Ansu, who's been our sponsor and has helped us get to where we are, and answer all of our questions, all of our loads of questions. So thank you so much, Ansu. And our founding members and people that have stepped up to the leadership positions. We couldn't be here without each other. So thank you all for being here. I chose a monthly theme for us, new beginnings. So we are all extremely new to this whole process. We are all learning what the different roles are. We are figuring out how we want to run our meetings. So I want to welcome everybody to a new beginning, and to be okay with being beginners, because it's really important that we're not having some crazy expectations for ourselves, that we know how everything's going to work right away. So chartering is moving along. We should have that wrapped up pretty soon. I'll have a ton of documents to Solazar today. And thank you, Lori, for meticulously going through all of the documents. And I saw a couple of questions about pathways and all that. And once we are chartered, you'll be able to log into your Toastmasters portal, learn more about what pathway is suitable for you. So start thinking about what goals you have for yourself, and yeah, you'll have the portal soon. If you have not joined the Women in Product Toastmasters Club Facebook group, please do so as soon as you can. We have 2 Facebook groups. We have the PM's Toastmasters Club. That's our public facing group, to help promote us to the other women in product that might be interested in joining us. The Women in Product Toastmasters Club Facebook group is our private group for members only. So please join that when you have a second. Facebook is a little confusing sometimes. You have to have friends in order to invite them over. So if you can try to get over while we're trying to make your friends, that'll help us out. There will also be some resources available to you. You can Google and find templates through Toastmasters International, or we'll be giving you access to our members' Google Drive, so that you can go get templates from there, and also have access to some more informational material, past meeting records, and some notes. The icebreaker is there. Familiarize yourself with the icebreaker, because that'll be your first speech. There's information on meeting roles there as well. Isha, our VP of Education, also has the roles there. And here's where we will, I see some questions popping up. Open it up for feedback. I want to make sure people have a chance to talk about feedback, and then we will have people volunteer for roles for the next meeting.
So first question I have is, is this a bi-weekly club or a weekly club?
It is a bi-weekly club.
Okay. Okay.
So we meet twice a month.
Okay.
Yes, we can send the link to the Facebook group through email. Or Lori has it right there in the chat. Thank you, Lori. How can one become a speaker? So we have a document. I will share my screen again after I stop sharing. We'll have this spreadsheet where, Isha, who's our VP of Education, is the one that kind of collects everybody's interests. So if you're interested in signing up for a role, you can let us know today, or you can contact Isha as well. So Sergeant of Arms is always going to be Svetlana. That's her role with the group. We will have Toastmaster is available, and the two we want to try to have 3 speeches a meeting, so that we all can progress through our pathways as quickly as possible. So that's why we have an hour-and-a-half meeting instead of an hour. So Svetlana will be taking speaker number 1 position. So we have the opening for 2 speakers. So you can start out with your icebreakers. We have evaluator positions open, table topics, grammarian, counter, timer. So if anybody, grammarian, Clarice is our grammarian for next meeting. So if anybody would like to learn more about those roles or sign up for those roles, please let us know.
So for these roles, this link would be shared with us and we just fill in our names in there, or should we email and inform for the next meeting?
That is a good question. I'm not sure how Isha would like to manage that. I will ask her and let everybody know how she prefers to do that.
Or maybe we can have a Google Docs that people can, if they're interested, we can share that Google Docs and people can put what role they want to participate in.
Sure. Okay.
May I say something?
Yes.
One thing that may not be a bad idea to do, based on the questions that we're hearing and everything, is if we can take just a little piece of time in the next couple of days to have a short club executive committee meeting and go over some of these things and think about how you want to structure everything out.
We actually plan to do that after today's meeting, and I'm not sure if I had invited you or not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
If you're available, because we are wrapping up a little bit early, so if you're available.
Yeah, I would need to step away for just a minute,
Sure.
but yeah, I'd be happy to. Is it still going to be on this Zoom?
We can do that.
Okay.
Hey, this is Kiran. I have a quick question. What will be the duration of the meeting?
So meetings, I think most clubs do 1 hour, but since we are meeting twice a month, and we want to make sure that there is enough time for 3 speeches a meeting, we're going to schedule it for an hour and a half, just to make sure that there are enough opportunities for people to speak and enough time to do that.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. But as you see, today's meeting, it's already 10 after 2. We've had lots of discussions, so I don't think we're going to need an hour and a half. I think we'll likely wrap up a little bit sooner. Thank you for your question.
Hey guys, Nana here. How do we decide on the table topics for each biweekly meeting?
Table topics, we would like to, well, we're a product focused group, so we would like it to be, focused around some kind of topic that would be applicable to our roles as product managers. So which leaves it pretty open. It could be data, tell a story about data, tell a story about something. So as long as it's kind of related to product, I said that would be our only really kind of rule.
So is it more of like a scheduled table topics, or leaning towards more impromptu kind of topic?
It's an impromptu
all right.
Type of speech. So the table topics master will select the 3 questions they want to ask for that session. There can be a theme. The 3 questions can be related to the theme of the day. But yeah, they're meant to be impromptu and kind of put us on the spot to formulate a 2-minute answer. Really good practice for those times you don't have time to prepare.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Hello, this is NC. I have a question. I just joined 10 minutes ago. So do the speeches also have to be product focused?
We would like them to be as much as possible. So our icebreaker is a good example where we're going to ask people to give like the traditional icebreaker, but then to also talk about a product at their end of their icebreakers, like the 2 speakers that did today, to give more of a product flavor to our meetings too.
Got it. And is there any plans to change the timing of this meeting at all?
We haven't talked about that yet. Is that a sticking point for you?
Yeah, I have a recurring conflict for the first 45 minutes.
Okay. I think that we can discuss it as a group and see if that we can find a time that everybody will find suitable.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Shimai. I have a quick question. So how is a Toastmaster table topics master picked every week to if we express interest through the Google Sheet or something like that?
Yes. Yep. Okay. Anybody can be a table topics master.
Okay, great. And the Google Sheets has not been populated yet, right? Look, that's coming up in.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? I have a quick question. So for icebreaker topics, are there any guidelines for that? Are there any mentors for that? Or is it just like, you have 7 minutes, go for it?
There's a document. It'll explain to you what an icebreaker is. what we'll do is this week we'll share the link to the Google Drive, and it'll have the icebreaker document in there. You know, if you would like more help with that, we can definitely help you with that as well. And I would also encourage people to, you know, maybe Google icebreaker and see what other Toastmasters have done. If you want some good examples, there are tons of really good examples online. And we are more than happy to give you support as well. So.
Thank you. Another quick one. Esha's not here today, right? I can't.
She is not.
Okay. I was like, okay, makes sense. Because I keep looking at the names. I'm like, no.
No. Thank you for your question. Any others?
Did we announce the winner of the table topics?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So not everyone voted. So maybe next time we should all consider to definitely vote. This time, with the popular vote, Jennifer and her Amazon shopping experience won the title.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, Nisha. All right, thank you, everybody. I am going to hand it off to Svetlana to wrap up our meeting for us today.
Great, thank you. Let me just, are you still, okay. All right. So, again, our next meeting will be held on Sunday, November 22nd. So at this time, we're still going to keep the same time that we started today. So 10 to 11:30 Pacific and 1 to 2:30 Eastern time. And here you can see our email address. So any questions following this meeting, any follow-ups, please feel free to shoot us an email. And these are all our contact details and roles from the leadership team. Thank you all so much for joining and bearing with us as we've completed our first ever Women in Product Toastmasters Club meeting. This is super, super exciting. I'm so glad we're doing this. So thank you all and have a great rest of your weekend.